My name is Angela Cabellon, and I am Chief of Staff to County Executive Ball in Howard County, Maryland.
Why do you believe it is important for people from minority or immigrant backgrounds to work inside the government system? And how would you explain that importance to the next generation?
What I know and have known growing up here in America is that representation is absolutely critical. And it is even more critical in public service. So I will give you an example. When I was an undergraduate at University of Maryland, I was the first and so far only Asian American female to hold the role of the Student Government Association president. And that was in 2001 to 2002. And so early on, as a young person recognizing the importance of representation, at that time, I could advocate for issues that were really important to me, whether it was Asian American studies or other issues on campus, ranging from things that were hitting across the campus, like athletics, as well as student body policies. Now that's translated into my whole public service career, and it is so important to me because right now, this is the first time we've ever had a Chinese American police chief. It's very rare that you see, a budget director who's also Asian American. We have our human resources administrator is Asian American. And I am one of only a few, if not any right now, chiefs of staff to county executives who is Asian American. And let me just underscore what that means. When you are there representing, no one has your life experience. I am the daughter of Asian immigrants. I am daughter of those who came to this country to work hard. And I also understand that growing up in community and understanding the impact of Asian Americans, my representation brings that to bear when it comes to policy decisions, as well as other decisions that impact all families. So I believe that we need more. When I go back and look back, there's an Asian American male present now at University of Maryland, but I'm still looking for who that next female is. And I'm still looking for more colleagues across the entire government, all levels of government, to represent. So that is why, for the next generation, we need them. We need them to represent.
As a public servant, what value guide you when you are helping residents who face the language barriers or do not fully understand how the system works?
My values really come down to, if I could describe, 3 values: faith, family, and a future for all. So when I think about faith, for my faith, I think about what it means to love our neighbor as ourselves, what it means to be guided by service to others. And that translates to issues such as language access, because I know that to be able to love my neighbor as myself, then we need to ensure that there is understanding and access to be able to also have a future and also to provide for their own families. So my second value of family is that when it comes down to it, our county is made up of families. Our county is made up of residents, those who come from different families and who are currently building families. And that's what we really work for, so that all can have an opportunity to live their best life and to be able to contribute back. And a future for all is necessary, because when we are looking at our families, we want to ensure that they have a chance to be economically self-sufficient. And part of language access means having access to economic programs, having access to understanding, such as language access, to be able to understand, what services are available, as well as to be able to leverage, business services to contribute back. So those three values are critical for me as I think about how I want to recommend and shape policies and practices across the government.
How has your background or life experience shaped the way you view public service or leadership?
As I said, that I value being a daughter of immigrant parents. You know, my parents came to the country to forge a better life for us, but also to contribute back here. And when I think about what they did to raise 5 kids, you know, I think that's the essence of, you know, not only did they raise 5 kids, but they also raised us to contribute back to America. We, just like everyone else, you know, are tax paying, work hard, you know, and also, you know, have big contributions back to, you know, our community. So that to me has always shaped me, knowing that, you know, my parents showed me the way, and I never take that for granted. And because of that, that is the gift that I want to be able to give to others, is to ensure that in public service, we give all a chance to have not just an excellent life, but to be able to contribute back so that we are building a community that cares for one another. And I think that is the essence of public service, is to really, you know, want to serve others and to remember where we came from and be motivated to help others in that way. And can I share a story with you? So I mentioned my college, you know, when I was doing this student government when I was younger, and I was working hard. And I also have mentioned that I have, you know, I'm one of 5 children. I'm the youngest of 5. During that time, when I was in college, my oldest brother, I was 21 and he was 30. My oldest brother died by suicide. And that forever changed my life. Also on my motivations on why it's important to care for others. Right now, people are going through such hard times. Back then, when I was younger, we didn't have the language. My family didn't have the language or the understanding to know why this happened or how it could be. Mental health, no one talked about it. It was something that we didn't know what to do, and we ourselves went into deep grief. And that has motivated me in such a way because right now people are hurting. And I know that especially with young people, many young people are struggling with mental health. And so part of my passion, when I think about services and livelihood all across, you know, the county, I also think about our young people in making sure that, you know, we are telling them that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be able to be vulnerable, and it's okay to talk. And it's okay to sometimes not have to be perfect all the time. And so when that translates to public policy, that means that we're looking at more counselors, more access to mental health, more looking at isolation in seniors, looking at isolation of those who, you know, may not know what to do in their time of crisis, especially now when there are those with tremendous job loss due to federal impacts and federal downsizing. Many families are hurting. And so we need to not only take care of the physical needs, but also the emotional needs of our community. And so that is something, that's a story I share because I have a deep passion, and that's a value that I have to make sure that our community is really well. And you know, the young people have so much more pressures than we have. Social media is tough. There's cyberbullying. There are things that our young people are having to grow up faster and contend with that we didn't have. We had, in some ways, it was simple because we didn't have so much social media. And so it's really important for that next generation to be inspired and know that there are ways to give back, and there's a lot in life that we have to live for.
Looking back on your journey, what efforts, disciples, or mindset help you turn your aspiration into reality within public service?
So one thing that people might not know about me is that I am an athlete. So right now, for fun, you know, because I'm older, I'm 46, so for fun, I am actually training for what's called a Spartan race. So these are races that, you know, whether it's a 5K, a 10K, or a half marathon, I'm trying to do all 3 this year, but in it has obstacles. And so, for example, I've done the 5K with 20 obstacles. So I have to scale a 16-foot rope. I have to go across, monkey bars and climb, cargo nets and do all sorts of crazy things. But why do I mention that? Is because we have to have some joy when we're thinking about public service. And I think there's a tremendous parallel about the discipline of athletics. And I've been an athlete all my life, played soccer when I was in high school and then all the way up until my adults, and now do the obstacle course racing. But in that, there's both a race that you recognize. Here, we're always racing. We're doing something. But what I've also learned through my disciplines is the importance of discipline and keeping that mindset and having the fortitude, because we have to care for ourselves in order to care for others. But also, what comes with that is the awareness of team. Even if I'm doing a single race, what I make sure is that I acknowledge people along the way that I'm running. Good job, yes, because we're all doing it. Even if we're doing it individually, we're together. And I think that is the way that we need to look at public service, that we all have skills and contributions to bring, to bear. We all have to be on our own race, whether that's with providing for our own families and doing what we have to do to be well and care for our own children. But then we have to recognize everyone around us, that we have a collective race to live, that we can do this for the betterment of the entire community. We can work together, whether it's on creating more food access points during this hard time. We've just put out foreclosure prevention services to help people make sure that they don't have to get kicked out of their apartments if they just experience a job loss, and it's an episodic job loss. I have worked on economic impacts, down to education. We have to ensure that we have budgeted amounts that are for our teachers and those who are working hard to educate our children, while also looking across all of county services that we're providing for recreation, safety, and making sure that the trash gets picked up timely. So I draw that as a parallel to public service, these races, because it takes a lot of discipline and mindset to stay discipline and have fortitude to get up every day. I might fall, I might drop off that rope, I might fall off, in the obstacle course, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna race again, and I'm gonna daily have a mindset to put on for the sake of others and for the sake of also ensuring that I am well so that I can be strong enough to help others too.
In moments of difficult decision or moral pressure in public service, what inner value or principle guide you? And where do you draw your sense of responsibility from?
One of the hardest times that I had as before this role, I served as the Chief Innovation Officer. And the county executive named me as the incident commander to the COVID-19 pandemic. And every decision was a moral decision, because if you decide to close, the moral decisions are that there will be an impact to businesses who will lose money, but then there's a larger decision of safeguarding those who are vulnerable, like our elderly, who could die by the COVID-19 pandemic. And so ultimately, in all of those decisions, we had to make the best decision, knowing that there were so many different moral points of view. So when it comes down to it, it comes down to a pragmatic approach to analysis on what's going to have the greatest impact. And in that case, the greatest impact was to shut down to save and safeguard the community. Later on, because we knew there was an impact to business owners, to residents, and those because of the shutdown, we then had to put in more grant programs to businesses, to childcare, to set up programs for families during the entire post-pandemic era. And we are still in that in many ways when we are seeing the impacts. I also know that because of the COVID-19 impact, one of the things that I look at as a major moral issue of the day is the impact to mental health, because there was an increase of isolation, an increase of kids not knowing what to do with their time and whatnot, and hardships that came upon families with the economic impacts that followed after. So my approach as far as thinking about morality and the intersection of morality and public service is to really look at what is the analysis showing and what's going to have the greatest impact, because public service does often mean trade-offs, and those trade-offs are hard. If you also think about the basics of government, it is the basics of what to do with budget. And budget often means trade-offs, that we're not gonna 100% be able to put everything in one place. So that is one where people have different moral views about how to spend a budget. And it comes down to the analysts and all of us to determine what's the greatest good and impact.
From your perspective as a public servant, what role do you hope the Asian American young people will take on in public service and civic life? And what encouragement would you give them as a mentor, as a senior?
Whenever I talk to young people who are aspiring or questioning whether they want to go into public service, I say, go. Don't think about it, go. And we have worked with many in the AAPI community and Korean community is to intern. Because I think internships give the students a real look into what we do on a daily life. And I want to give a story of one of my young mentees who I actually met last year. She's a high school student, brilliant high school student, and she had won, doing an essay contest, and I was at the Women's Commission. Just last week, I touched base with her, because I touch base with her ongoing, and I said, how are you doing? She said, you'll be so proud of me. I actually testified before the Board of Education about an issue on STEM. And I said, oh my gosh. I said, you're in high school already doing that? I said, I love that. I said, what you're doing, it's that changes. It's the young people that are changing the hearts and minds of policymakers and decision makers. And it's the young people and those in the next generation who are going to be our future leaders. And so what other countries and what other places do is they intentionally make sure that there is access and opportunity and growing and giving opportunity to those so that they can understand what public service is. That's what we want to do and what we are doing. And so when I talk to young people, my first advice is go. Go see what it is, go look at it, go intern. You need to go, right? And even to my young mentee, when she told me she was testifying, she just did it. You just go. I mean, I think there is a lot of fear, and that's understandable, and sometimes apprehension and, fears about it, but this is the best time to be able to experiment, the best time to be able to get many different opportunities. And at the end of the day, it doesn't all have to look like government. It can be any different types of public service. So right after I left undergraduate, I did a program called Teach for America. I was a high school teacher. That was one of the most rewarding experiences that I had, because in the classroom, I could understand the struggles that our young people are confronting. As a teacher, I could understand the struggles of a teacher and what that meant about building curriculum and advocating for the students. And even though I didn't stay as a teacher and I went into policy and then went into government, I have never, ever, ever forgotten my experience. That's what I want students to know. Nothing is wasted. You might have a fear, you might be worried, but nothing is wasted. So no experience is wasted. You go, whether it's an intern, whether it is gaining a better understanding, whether it is showing up to testify, go. And we need you. And that's what I have to say to the students. Like and subscribe. See ya, Manna.